Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Dr. Asi Explains. This is Dr. Asi, and today's topic are cell cycle mitosis and meiosis life cycles. So this is actually a like a quick review for exam 3, and it's gonna only have 2 chapters. Again, these 2 chapters from the Green Book, chapter 10 and chapter 11, that you need to study. Okay, so let's get started. Um, we start with chapter 10, which is cell cycle. And cell cycle comprises actually both mitosis and meiosis. But cell cycle and mitosis is the first part. Okay, so it should always start with vocabulary, like any other chapter. So make sure that you actually get down all the vocabulary and you know the basics before you actually look at the whole model and then actually go do more deep reading from your book in chapter 10. Again, your textbook is freely available on online. So just search biology 2E. Again, your book is biology 2E, free open access, open research book. Okay, so let's get started. So what is cell cycle? Well, why is so important? And mitosis, and actually it's linked to cancer. Okay, so most cell division result in genetically identical daughter cells. Genetically identical, okay? So, and then we will learn about that and mitotic phase, which alternates between interphase and cell cycle. Okay, so obviously this chapter and next chapter both about cell division. Cell division is essential for life, perpetuation of the life, development, growth, repair, many other things of multicellular, especially multicellular organisms, right? It also provides for reproduction or of unicellular organisms. So unicellular organisms actually uses cell division to reproduce. Since they are unicellular, each time actually they divide, actually they are making a brand new cell. So obviously that's actually their reproduction at the same time, and then cell division. Now, what else is in this chapter? With this chapter, basically, this chapter is more about mitosis, specifically cell division that's actually called mitosis, which basically produces exact copy of the mother cells, and making 2 daughter cells from one single mother cells, right? So genetically equivalent daughter cells. In eukaryotes, this is called mitosis. In prokaryotes, this is called binary fission. But idea is pretty same. Mitosis is part of the cell cycle and includes both mitotic phase, which is mitosis and cytokinesis, and interphase. And also, we'll also look at some regulation of this using signaling molecules like kinases, like CDKs, and cyclins. And then has interphase have stages like G1, S, G2, so also as well. So make sure that you go over the cell cycle. So you learn about G1, S, G2, and M phase. And then once actually cell gets to the M phase, it's actually start going through these different mitotic stages, like you see in this picture, which basically prophase, metaphase, and anaphase, telophase. That's basically mitosis, and mitosis is division of nucleus. But there is also division of cytoplasm. So that's actually cytokinesis. So cell cycle starts with interphase, which is G1 s G2. And when we look under the microscope, we don't see much actually the chromosomes. The best way to study cell cycle and mitosis and meiosis, actually look at the chromosomes under the microscope in animal cell or plant cell, it doesn't matter. So if you do that, in G1 s G2, we just see a cloudy region, which is basically, we tell us that this is interphase. We can't really see, they don't show, the chromosomes don't show. First time they show is prophase. Now, when we see them, they are actually already duplicated. So we start with 2n equals 2, let's say, and they become 4n. So 2n becomes 4n, but this is a temporary situation. And so we can tell this is prophase because they are duplicated. Then metaphase, they line up in the middle. So you also know that. So they line up in the middle. So we can see and take their pictures. The middle part called metaphase plate. In anaphase, they go two opposite directions. In telophase, they actually already separate into the two nuclei, but they still one single cell, like an H shape. But that's end of mitosis. The next is cytokinesis, which basically division of cell cytoplasm. Now we have two cells with two nucleus, each one nucleus each, and that basically they are each exact replica of the mother cell, right? So that's basically cell cycle and mitosis. So make sure you study these specifics and also look at the regulation of cell cycle mitosis. What is regulation is about? Cell cycle, it's called cell cycle control. There are these, your book talks about checkpoints, G1, S, G2, G1, G2, and M checkpoints. They are like big walls, stop everything, checks, and make sure that everything okay up to that point and gives a green light. So what happens if it doesn't give green light? Well, cells cannot continue cell division, then it has to move to G0 phase, which is a non-divide stage. Most cells actually will no longer divide if they are G0. So you need to also know that. So G0. And also there is a model there, which we learn about. Also check your PowerPoints, which basically molecular mechanisms that actually cyclins accumulate and they become CDK, cyclin-dependent kinases, and that actually becomes MPF, which is basically maturation promotion factor, and that's really a complex of cells, a cyclin CDK complex, which triggers this G2 checkpoint, and then all these signalings help the cell division, like starting the cell division. So very important, right? So there are other things. There are other growth factors like PDGF, which is a platelet-derived growth factor. Also, there is anchorage dependence for animal cells. Cancer cells don't follow any of these. They transform from a healthy cell to a cancer cell, and then at the beginning they are only in one single site. They are just a benign tumor, but if they start metastasizing, they actually now are malignant tumors, and they spread all over using blood system. So make sure you check this, and this is end of chapter on cell cycle mitosis. The next is meiosis. Well, meiosis is like mitosis, but it's like two mitosis back to back minus one interphase. So, and also life cycles are in this chapter because like every life cycle has meiosis and fertilization. So they all go together, meiosis, fertilization. So they are kind of opposite events, okay, and alternating in life cycles. Meiosis reduces the chromosome number. Unlike mitosis, meiosis actually half the chromosome number and causes genetic variation because the offsprings actually produced by meiosis, they are not identical to each other. They are unique. They are not identical. So asexual reproduction uses mitosis, which was last chapter. Sexual reproduction uses meiosis and fertilization. Okay, in human, this is meiosis. These are gamete cells, which are the egg or sperm cells. They have half the chromosome numbers produced by meiosis, like 23 chromosomes. If you want to take all the pictures of these chromosomes, this is called karyotyping. Again, all the chromosomes next to each other, from largest to the smallest. So we karyotype them. Life cycles, every life cycle basically have but before life cycle, there are 10 stages of meiosis. Okay, 10 stages of meiosis. Don't forget. So you need to know these 10 stages of meiosis, starting with again interphase, and then meiosis 1, and then meiosis 2, 10 stages at the end, which produces 4 unique daughter cells with half chromosome number of the parents. Okay, so that's meiosis. And meiosis actually perfectly fits in the life cycles. You can see here separating sporophyte. It takes the sporophyte and then produces gametes, or these haploid cells from using meiosis. And then fertilization, you reunites them again, make them to an sporophyte. So make sure you look at the life cycles in this chapter 11, sexual life cycles. And then homologous pairs of chromosomes, and karyotyping is taking their pictures. Gametes join in fertilization, forming zygote. Don't forget that. Meiosis produces spores, and then later they become sporophyte generations, and they alternate with gametophyte. Meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 are the two big pieces of these 10 steps. And finally, there is something called genetic variation. That means there is continuous genetic variation, and that might be caused by many things, including synapses, crossing over, independent assignment of chromosomes, and mutations. So that they all result in genetic variation, and they can contribute to evolution. So make sure that you review this whole chapter, complete the quiz online, and best of success for the test Monday. So thank you for watching, and please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe to the channel Dr. Asif Explains. See you next time. Happy studying.